Well, folks, that's a wrap. 2022 is officially in the books. I hope you were able to hit all of your investing goals. I know I had some that I hit and some that I didn't, but I'd like to share with you what they were and how successful or not successful I was in hitting those goals. And also, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to do in 2023. Welcome, folks. It's definitely the time of year when we try to reflect on our previous goals, see the progress that we made in our business so that we can plan for this current year to be even more successful, or at least that's what we should be doing. So let me, in this video, walk you through my personal portfolio. As everybody knows, I'm Henry Washington. Thank you so much for being here. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm at the Henry Washington on Instagram. And as always, please like this video and subscribe to the channel because we have awesome content coming out for you all the time and we don't want you to miss a thing. And also share with us in the comments about your goals from 2022. Did you hit all your goals? What goals did you hit? What goals did you miss? Let's start some good chat in the comments so people can see the success that everybody's having. So at the beginning of every year, I typically set about 5 goals, but 2 of those are specifically related to my real estate investment business. And I like to set a wealth goal and an income goal. And so my goals for 2022 on the wealth side was to acquire 15 doors to the portfolio that have a cash on cash return of 10% or more. And my income goal was to flip 15 houses with a total sales of 2.3 million. And I typically write all my goals down and I keep them in different places around my house or at my office so that I can constantly see them each and every day. I stick them everywhere. I've got them in my shower even at home. I have them by my computer at home. I have them everywhere because I want constant reminders of what my goals are so that I can make sure that my daily actions are actually moving me toward my goals and not in some other direction. So how did my goals pan out? I knew that I was going to have to do some heavy marketing if I was going to hit both my goals of acquiring 15 doors at a 10% cash on cash return and flipping 15 houses. That's quite a bit of volume for a smaller operation like mine, and that would be one of the most aggressive years that I've had since my very first year in the business. And what I know about my first year in the business is we were heavy on marketing, which generated lots of leads, which allowed us to buy almost 30 doors that year. So I went really hard into my marketing at the beginning of the year, and January just turned out to be a great month. I'd say about 3/4 of the way through January, I actually had 20 doors under contract already. When you look forward, we actually didn't end up closing on 14 of those doors due to some issues with being able to get the proper financing in place, as well as one of those properties. Once I dug deeper into the numbers, it wasn't going to give me the 10% cash on cash return that I was looking for. And so it didn't help me hit my goals. That meant we did close on 6 of those in January. And so what I did because of that was I went back and I reevaluated my goals, and I actually increased from 15 to 20 doors for my goal for 2022. So after that adjustment, the way the rest of the year panned out after that first 6 we closed in January were that we bought 3 duplexes, 1 quadplex, 4 single family homes, and an 11-unit office building. So if you're doing the math, that's 31 doors we were able to add to the portfolio in 2022, which is beyond the goal of 15 and 20 that we had set and adjusted. So that was a success, obviously. The things that I think that led to us having that type of success was, yes, we were intentional about marketing, but also the real estate market itself started to change in 2022. As the Fed started to increase interest rates, it started to make more sense from a numbers perspective to hold on to a lot more property. Last year, because interest rates were so low and demand was so high, we were able to sell properties at a huge premium. And so last year, when you look back at the goals we had, we exceeded our flip goal and we didn't quite hit our rental property goal because the market was telling us that you aren't going to be able to get a premium flipping and selling properties. This year, it's telling us the opposite. It's saying that, hey, if you can find a good deal and hold on to it, you're in a better position, and you're not going to get the same type of returns or sales price that you were able to get in 2021. And so I think that played a lot into why we were able to keep so many of these properties, or why the numbers made more sense to keep so many of these properties. When you look at our second goal, which was to flip 15 houses this year, we did not hit that goal this year. We fell short, partially because of the thing that I just explained to you about the market. As the feds continued to raise interest rates, we were looking at the numbers on selling, because typically I want to sell the single families, but as you saw, we bought 4 singles that we kept as rentals this year. And that's because the numbers just made more sense as a rental than as a flip. And so we pivoted our strategy of keeping all the multis and selling the singles, because the market was telling us that it would make more sense to keep those as singles. And so looking at our flip goal, we did just about 10 flips this year, and we wanted to have gross sales of somewhere around 2.3 million, and I think we just went over 820,000 this week because we sold a flip. So we didn't hit those numbers, but that's okay. I'm pleased with the results this year. If I had to pick an achievement I'm most proud of in 2022, it was definitely the purchase of the 11-unit commercial office building. I had a stretch goal in 2022 of buying an office building, selfishly because I wanted an office for my own use, and I didn't want to have to go pay rent for one, and so I thought, why not Office Hack? And so I started to work with a local commercial broker and commercial investor, and he was able to bring us a phenomenal deal. I leveraged his experience in the space to help us figure out if it was a great deal or not. We then partnered together. We brought in a couple other partners, and I was able to do my first commercial real estate deal, and it's going really well. So by far my coolest achievement in my opinion this year. So what's next in 2023 for us? Well, we're keeping our goals very similar. We're still going to be aggressive and look to do about 20 doors at a 10% cash on cash return that will add to the portfolio, as well as doing 15 flips to hit close to that same gross sales number of 2.3 million. The reason we're staying aggressive with the buy and hold is because of the market conditions. Right now, because interest rates are higher and demand is lower, we are able to buy deals at a deeper discount, but we're not able to sell them at the price points that we were a couple of years ago, because I know I can get really, really good deals right now, and because I know that there's going to be plenty of people who need to sell, even though the market conditions are what they are. We want to acquire as much as we can and then hold on to those assets, because when the market starts to shift again, when interest rates come down a little bit and buyer demand increases, those property values are going to start to increase. And so there's going to be a big transfer of wealth coming, and I feel like if we can acquire as much as possible, then when things turn around, we're going to be in a much better position from an equity perspective, and we'll be glad we held on to as many properties as we did. So we're going to be aggressive on the buy and hold side in 2023. Still look to do some flips when it makes sense, but it's okay if we don't hit those numbers. And then we're going to keep an eye on the market and see what happens. And I would urge everyone to just pay attention to your local market conditions. Pay attention to days on market and how that's shifting. Pay attention to the list price to sale price ratio to understand how much under the list price are houses selling for, or how long these houses are sitting on the market. And that will give you a good sense of what the market is doing and help inform your buying decisions moving forward. But for us, it's going to be about accumulating properties while we can get such deep discounts, and then we'll sit on them and then reevaluate when market conditions change. Maybe we'll end up selling some of those later. Maybe we'll keep them because they're going to be cash flowing so well. But that's a great position to be in. Well, there you have it, folks. I've given you insight into my goals for 2022, how well we did or didn't do. And hopefully you gain some insight to how you can be planning your goals for 2023, and as well as tracking them as the year goes along and not being afraid to adjust them as market conditions change or as you hit or don't hit some of these goals throughout the year. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please give us a like and a subscribe. We'd love to keep showing you valuable content like this. I appreciate you being here. I hope you learned something valuable. And as always, I am Henry Henry Washington. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm at the Henry Washington. Let's go out and have a profitable 2023, and I'll see you at the closing table.